Well, I think the most important, most beautiful thing about what's happening right now is that up until a few years ago, maybe up until a couple years ago, the broadcast networks and the cable networks had basically a monopoly on video information. And they had that because the delivery mechanism, there's scarcity, right? You have 13 broadcast channels, and then on cable, you have maybe a few hundred broadcast channels, but those are all controlled by the cable company. And so you had this enormous scarcity, and so being on that channel was incredibly valuable, and there were only a few people who owned it. What's beautiful about what's happening right now is that you, Andy Plesser, can go out there and you can create your video and get it in front of people almost as efficiently as the broadcast networks can. The issue is that the television, in many ways, is still a better environment to watch at least longer form video content than the web browser. Watching video on the web on your computer is honestly not that great an experience, but people do it anyway because they like the content. What we need to do now is we need to bring that content onto the television. So there are some companies that are starting to do this. Akimbo has a box that they sell for $50, which does internet connected video on demand. You can put Beat.tv, you can put all the top shows on Blip on that box. Blip, we actually have a partnership with Akimbo, so we send all of our top shows over to them. And then Akimbo users who have this set-top box can sit there with their remote control on their couch, they can plop down with a beer, and they can channel surf and get BTV right there on the television, just like they would watch CBS. We're seeing this happening more and more. So TiVo is adding this kind of functionality to the new TiVo Series 2 and the TiVo Series 3 even more so, where you can literally sit down there and you can watch video blogs on television in the same way that you watch normal programming. And that's going to start happening with the MSOs, the cable companies. It's going to start happening with everybody. And very soon, in the next year or two, I think we're going to be at the point where tens of millions of homes have this capability, and then it's going to be like lightning. It's going to be just like, DVRs grew faster than DVD players, which grew faster than VCRs. And it's just going to be beautiful, and all of the barriers are going to be broken down. The most exciting thing to me right now is that people are creating new content and new types of content which are competing head to head with the traditional studio system, if you like, the network system. Sometimes doing better than what's actually broadcast on television in terms of viewership, even maybe in terms of monetization in some cases. We're seeing this incredible dynamic, and it's cliche, but this democratization, right? Where you have shows which are well produced, which are well watched, which are well syndicated, which are well advertised upon, well monetized, that are completely independent of that system, and I think that's beautiful. I think that, what really attracted me to video blogging in the first place is that I was a text blogger. And I was some punk kid who, when I started out, I had 2 readers, myself, and I got to the point where I had millions of readers and money coming in, and I was doing radio interviews and I was doing press interviews and all this kind of stuff. In my opinion, who knows why it mattered, and I was part of that media channel. And with no journalism training, with nothing except the words that that I typed, purely on its merits. And that's what I'm seeing happening with video blogging right now. It's not about who you know. It's not about breaking through the gateway. It's not about sitting down with some studio execs and saying, let me give you my pitch. No. It's all about how good people actually are.